Polycystic kidney disease is a big one because you have cysts on the kidneys and it reduces kidney function exponentially. It's not a buzzword disease, not everyone knows about it, and so that could use money, but at the same time, I have lived my life as a transgender teen on the front lines of the LGBT community. I've been going to Cincinnati Children's since I was tiny, and I still go, and they help me with my kidney disease, they help me with like other things that I had when I was a kid. They helped me with transition, which was a big one, and they've just been there every step of the way. I can't imagine a journey without Cincinnati Children's. Adults, like, they can access hormones on their own, but children, they need their parents' permission. They need like a whole support system in order to get that going. And that's why I think it's really important that it's at a children's hospital.
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to the halfway mark. This is the 4th show out of our 8 shows on this D&D Marathon for Extra Life for Kids. So far, we've raised $1,838 out of our $5,000 goal. And if you would like to help with that, there are many ways you can. The most obvious of which being financially. You can donate there, follow that link, and donate. I believe some of us have forfeits. I know I'm on Bean Boozled. We can see who's forfeiting what as we go around. Also, if you can't donate financially, the best kind of support is sustainable support. So you can also go and retweet the tweet. But as I've said that, I've set myself up for a fall because I realised I haven't gone and copied the tweet to my clipboard yet. So let's go around and say hello to everyone, starting with Kelly while I update that command.
Hi everybody, I'm Kelly, AKellyLane, and on Twitter, AKelly in chat, although I probably won't be in chat today because I'm the DM. I play a lot on Scratch channel. I appear randomly on the Twitchverse. Feel free to check me out on Twitter to keep up with that. I do cool projects for DM's Guild, including some with Ashley, who's wonderful and here today, and Mackenzie, who was DMing earlier, and all sorts of other cool stuff. That's me. So, and I write for Scratch Patreon. So, who's next around the corner? That's Ashley.
Hello, I'm Ashley Warren. I'm really excited to be playing my first game on Scratticus Academy, so thanks for having me. I do lots of things, including the Uncaged Anthology and the RPG Writer Workshop, and I'm a contributing writer to lots of different places. So yeah, it's all fun, lots of good things. Yeah, we just released Uncaged Volume 3 on Dungeon Masters Guild. I also play Constantina, a bard, on Tales from the Mist, which is a show on the official D&D Twitch channel.
Yeah, fantastic show. I love it. Next round, we have Alex.
Oh, hi, I'm Alex, or Madam Gandalf. I do full-time streaming here on the internet. I play D&D on Wednesdays, Witcher, Genesis, with the lovely Rachel and it's Tina, as you saw earlier, playing it with Extra Life. And yeah, thank you so much. I am excited to be playing Zero Wyvernsayer, a halfling bard who loves puns. And that's gonna be a nightmare for Kelly, and I apologize now.
It's gonna be great. Next round, we have Erica, a style pixie. Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Erica. I stream around the internet as well, but you can also find me as Starla Highhill, the halfling rogue in Girl Scouts Glory, the broadcast, and also on Geek and Sundry Knights of Everflame.
Fantastic, thank you very much. Hi everyone, I'm Scratticus. You might know me from this channel. I'll be playing Elwyn Loslonian today, a serious character, I think. I think I've made a serious one.
Lies.
Why you gotta call me out like this?
I have my doubts, not gonna lie. I have my doubts, crap.
I'm going to try, okay? I'm going to try. And there it is. There comes in the first donation of the stream. Thank you very much, Robert Dowd, Kentucky Hawkeye, for that $5 donation. That is an advantage which we're going to put in the pool. Look, people have been very generous today. The donations have rolled over to this stream, so everyone just assume you have advantages until I tell you you don't.
Amazing.
I'll take
I
it.
forgot to mention that I will also be doing Bean Boozled along with Scrat as part of the things. And for you could also ask me to choose if you want that I will eat an insect instead, if you would prefer. So you could choose whether you want creepy crawlies or pukey face. I don't know really which is worse, but
honestly, now, like we've discovered in the last stream, although it's happened before, to be fair, my palate is in a place where I can't tell the difference between canned dog food and chocolate pudding anymore on the Bean Boozled scale. So, like, that's where I'm at. Thank you, an anonymous donator, for another advantage. Oops. Kelly, should we hand over to you? Would you like to take it away?
Are we ready to go? Is it go time? Are we doing this now? Is that what's
so.
happening? Okay, cool. Bring it. My dog just freaked out with me. Okay. So you all stand in a small side chamber of a local nobleman's mansion, essentially. Before you sit 7 chairs at a kind of circular or horseshoe-shaped table. You were summoned here by the Duke and Duchess. Sitting before you, Duke's seat is empty. The Duchess and 4 of her 5 children are there. They are all grown. You see one other seat empty amongst where the children sit. You have just been asked by the Duchess to try and locate her missing daughter, Leona. 4 years ago, on the eve of Leona's 21st birthday, she disappeared. That same night, a forest sprung up on the edge of the Duke's lands between the town and the mountain peaks. The Duke himself is beginning to fall ill, and one of his last wishes is to see his daughter again. However, over the past several years, they keep sending out scouts, they keep sending out mercenaries, they hire anyone and everyone to go into the forest. Those who come back with wild tales of being lost for days or weeks or even months. They come back talking about voices in the forest, leaves that don't make sense, and other strange happenings. A few, although not many, most return. A few do not. They're never seen again. And you all have been tasked, recruited by the royal family for your various skills to try and find her. You have the opportunity right now to do some investigating. You've been informed that there are some people, some guardsmen who have gone out into the woods and who have come back, who'd be willing to speak to you. You're more than welcome to ask around town for information. The Duchess also informs you that they have kept Leona's room exactly how she left it. And people have looked in there for hints. However, none of her people seem to have been great investigators and haven't found much to work with. And that's where you start. What would we like to do?
What do we know about Leona? Beyond that.
You know that she's been missing. Those of you who've been in town for a while or maybe grew up in the area would know that she's the middle child of 5. She's always rather quiet, kept to herself. People didn't see much about her. Occasionally she would go through town visiting bookstores, especially, but she was a rather quiet child compared to her brothers and sisters.
Do we know how old she was when she went missing?
So it was right before her 21st birthday.
Okay, got it. Well, I kind of want to look around her room a little bit.
Okay. Is anybody going to go with you?
I'll go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go as well.
Thank you, Zura Nazir, for another advantage in the pool in the center there. Like I say, just assume we've got advantages for like every roll.
Yeah,
yes?
I think Zira's snosy side is going to come out, and she's going to want to explore the bedrooms as well. Because what other time do we get a chance to check out the boudoir of a princess without it being creepy or illegal?
Very true. Both points are valid.
In fact, you have like a personal escort to do so.
Even better. Full permissions.
I'd like to come along as well. I've got a feeling that in our room, maybe, I might be able to find something with which I can track her.
All right.
So Leona's youngest sister, Kara, kind of brings you down the hallway. Kara's like 18. She directs you to a door, and you're able to go inside Leona's room. And you see this very lush velvet blue carpet. The bed is 4-poster with draping. It's very fancy, very fine. You actually see that the bedspread is ruffled. Everything is covered with a little bit of a thin layer of dust, but you can see kind of footprints where other people have kind of poked around, kind of handprints on a couple different things in the dust. But like the bed seems to be remained pretty much untouched. Immediately notice that there's like wall to wall, floor to ceiling bookshelves on the walls. They're just covered with books. One corner there's like a large desk that has papers and books and writing scattered all over the top of it. Who would like to do what?
I'm curious to look at her desk. I'm wondering if we know for sure that she went missing or if she might have left on her own accord.
I'm going to be
I'll check the
looking
wardrobe.
for.
Okay.
Oh, I'll be looking for
Okay,
books
we've got
that
desk,
might.
wardrobe.
I'll check the bookshelves for journals, books that might not be labeled, like have
Okay.
official markings or anything to possibly find like a journal or a diary or.
Mm-hmm. Everybody roll investigation checks for me. That's looking at something in particular. Scrap.
I would like to actually maybe try and convince you to look for survival, because I'm going to be looking for things that will help me literally track her. So if there's a shoe that I can find her shoe size, that would be great. Maybe clothes that might give an indication of the sort of weight I'm looking for in her tracks. Or, maybe also, like, if there's any dirty laundry, I could get a bit of a scent.
Are we rolling
I
with
might be able to
advantage?
help you with that one.
You are more than welcome to use up some of those advantages. Just like let Scrap know.
I will use one because I rolled really poorly, so might as well, right? Then
Yeah,
people can
just burn
donate
them.
more, right? So donate more. Donate more. Okay.
Yeah, I'll check an advantage on as well.
That was
I
worth
think
it.
I might also do advantage.
I rolled a 17, so I'm going to go with what I have there for just checking her clothes and apparently sneaking through her unmentionables.
I used an advantage as well.
That's
so
how we put
17.
it, right?
Mhm.
For the kids, you say unmentionables.
Okay, we're just rifling through her drawers, literally.
Okay, we'll
yeah.
go, just
We're
go around
helping.
one at a time. Elowen, you are able to find several pairs of shoes, everything from what looks like kind of casual day shoes to her fuzzy slippers to heeled shoes for her things. You can see Zira is kind of ripping apart the wardrobe, kind of going through different things, so you're able to find kind of her rough size. She seems kind of short, but fairly slender. So you're able to get a rough idea about her height and size and physical ability. Zira, as you're going through the wardrobe, On a 17, you notice that most of what seems to be here in this wardrobe are the fine clothes. Court dresses, fancy bits and bobs. There's a lot of jewelry in here. You actually find, though, there's one drawer that you pull open and there's nothing in it. It's completely empty. Mira, bookshelves. There is everything on these bookshelves, from kind of romance novels to fantasy novels to like how to garden books. There's, it looks like she was into a little, even are able to find one that like doesn't have a name on it, and you open it up and it's like about lockpick. But you notice you get closer and closer to looking at those that are actually near her desk. You find a lot. You find a
Kelly.
lot of books on history. You find
Kelly,
a lot of books on.
You're freezing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe if you wanted to close out any non-necessary things or anything, I know you don't normally have this issue, so like you're freezing up a little bit. Or maybe a lot. Hey, Extra Life for Kids is raising money for critical mission hospitals across the states and apparently in the UK. Someone told me earlier. Are you back?
I'm back. Am I back?
Yep, you're back.
My computer got upset while I was closing the things to try and fix the things that were making it upset.
Of course.
Yep.
That's okay.
I'm not in Twitch
having
chat
her,
anymore,
pretty
guys.
woman montage moment.
I love the fact that every time I look away from your portrait as well, Alex, and look back, you're wearing something else. Like.
Well, you know, when you're going through Princess's clothing, you're just gonna keep pulling out everything and trying it on.
Well, okay. So Alex, you open the drawer and you find this drawer that's like empty, suspiciously empty. Mira, you find these bookshelves. As you get closer to the desk, there are a couple of the books seem to be getting older. They're not like mass market paperbacks anymore. They're like the nice gold leaf ones. You find books about spell casting. You find some things that have runes in it. Different languages, kind of covering everything from some of the languages you recognize to things that you don't. There's things about beasts and things you wouldn't expect to see in the house of a noble woman.
Ooh, interesting.
And Ashley, what did Amira roll?
15.
Okay.
With advantage.
A 15, you find on her desk a bunch of scattered papers. It looks like she was taking notes. Again, it seems to be almost like homemade spell casting, like she's playing with magic somehow. Odd things that don't really look like spells, a lot of things that you think may not even work. You see a couple of books kind of stacked up to the side that look to be some of the oldest in the room that you could flip through if you wanted to. But that's about it.
Well, it looks like she was dabbling in some arcane experiments, perhaps, or at least took an interest in them.
Yes, I found some books that have runes and things.
Yep, that's what these notes look like as well. Is it possible that maybe some sort of experiment went wrong, or maybe she went to go find someone to learn from or something?
It does sound possible.
Well, I can tell you that she's an average height humanoid of average weight in size 5 shoes.
And apparently in lots and lots of underwear.
Interesting. Well, it's helpful.
No, I once lost a fight with some underwear, and my hat apparently. But I once lost a fight with some underwear. Yeah, it was against a pair of boxers. The fight was very brief.
Oh, that was a good one. Off to a good start.
Because I'm pants at fighting. It's, yeah.
Who here's a spellcaster?
Oh, I am.
Are we all?
Everybody.
Bunch-
Yes. Who here? Mira, what is your class?
I'm a cleric.
Cleric. Okay. More divine magic. Scrat and Ashley, roll an Arcana check for me when you're
Sure.
looking through these papers on the desk.
Okay.
All right.
Because I feel like
Oh.
Zira's putting on most things.
18.
19.
Both of you recognize that a lot of these spells seem to be a lot of the things that she's experimenting with specifically seem to be planar in nature. But she doesn't like, again, it seems like that she's trying to be learning about planes and maybe planar travel or messing with planes, but that she's not getting anywhere.
Well, this kind of knowledge can be dangerous. I'm going to, so I have a companion who's an imp who like kind of hangs out on my shoulder, and I'm gonna send him kind of like just kind of scurrying around the room, like just kind of like rifling through things to help. Don't know how useful he will be, but
Okay.
try to put him to work.
Have you sent him to like look for things in particular or just anything that smells interesting?
Sure. So I show him the notes that, and I convey what we've just been talking about, that these seem kind of planar in origin. Some of the rune markings that are on the notes, like go look around and see if you can find anything else that maybe fits with this.
Roll an investigation for him. Do you have a
Okay.
stat block for him?
Yeah, I do. It's just the imp stat block. Let's see. Investigation, it's intelligence. 10.
Yeah, so he's able to kind of maybe pop out a couple of books from the bookshelves that Miro had been looking at that seem to have maybe mentions of the planes. There's kind of like the classic textbook from every like good wizarding academy about like what are the planes, like very like primer 2. But he doesn't really notice anything else. Maybe drags one of them back to you.
It's very heavy, I imagine.
And as you're all kind of standing here, just kind of looking around, Kara, who kind of had brought you here, she kind of steps into the room and she just goes, so I don't know if it helps, but I used to use the spyglass up in the tower to look for her. And you can't see anything. There's nothing to see through the canopy, but maybe a year or two after she left or disappeared, you could start seeing. I could see the top of a tower peeking out over the treetops. I told everyone, and they kept trying to get to it, but nobody ever got, and nobody that came back ever said that they got anywhere near it. But I think people started trying to go that way first.
Do you think that might be where your sister went?
I mean, she disappears, the forest springs up, a year and a half afterwards a tower pops up. It just seems don't look a coincidence in the face. I don't know.
Sure. Do you or anyone around here, is planar magic something that people around here have an interest in, or was that unique to your sister?
I knew she was like dabbling in stuff. We used to outside and run around with people when we were teenagers, and she would always clean our clothes off when we came back in, so mom and dad didn't. Little.
Did we lose this?
Yeah, another bit of a breakup there, Kelly. If it's getting real bad, we might want to close out Roll20. That may also help. But also, whilst we wait for Kelly return, thank you very much to Cookies and Mr. Oh, you can see it on screen. Mr. Wong for both donating $5 advantages. Welcome back, Kelly. Another big lag there, I'm afraid.
That was weird. That was the first time I've actually lagged on my end. Every other time I haven't even noticed. But so she tells you that, you know, they used to play like little tricks, or she would do like little things here and there, but nothing really major. And Kara just is like, you know, I mean, I knew she was messing around with stuff, but it's never really big. She talked a lot about just wanting to do her own thing and not be so overwhelmed by everyone else. We're kind of a loud bunch, and there's a lot of us. She's always kind of wanted to be left alone.
Has our group had a chance to like meet each other, like when we were given this assignment?
Probably briefly, but nothing really formal. You were kind of like all called individually. You probably had time out in like the waiting room,
Right.
waiting to be called in.
Clearly,
So
we're the ragtag rebels.
Clearly.
You don't really know. You don't know each other yet. You just know like names.
Okay. I'd like to turn to my new companions. Do any of you have interest or knowledge in planar magic? Do you recognize any of these like runes?
I would like to do an investigation roll or an insight if I can.
4.
With these runes, I feel like that might be something bardish, maybe, that she might be able to figure out, or maybe a history check.
You can
With
do a
her
history
magic?
check. Yeah,
History check?
Let's do a history check. You know, you're thinking about kind of where you are. You're thinking about planar travel. What is going on here?
Like, I have seen bards travel many places. I know traveling. Okay, let's use my advantage roll. And that actually gives me a 20. Nat 20. Cool. Yay for advantages.
Okay. On a nat 20. What is the total?
That would actually make it a 24.
Okay. I'm trying to remember that 20s aren't auto successes. They're just bonus. So 24 with a nat 20. This immediately, like the idea of planes and this place that you're in and weird things happening, like all of a sudden it just comes to you and you're like, light bulb moment. That there is a history in the mountains of fae creatures popping in between planes. And there's all these like stories, these grand stories of like ancient history and these songs that are sung of creatures that just appear in the night in the woods, that are fae in nature. But you know, those have always been stories.
I would like to imagine that as Zira relays this information to everyone, she kind of gets it too dramatically in the scene, like gets a little bit of smoke starting to come up as she tells us the history and lore of the Fae and things like that. And really attempts to get everybody really into the story before suddenly just like blowing the smoke all away with the princess's fan and saying, but I don't know if that will help.
That was a riveting tale, but I do think there were some key, pieces of information there that might be related.
You mean I
perhaps.
helped? Look at me, Elowen. I helped.
Well done. As for me, in answer to your question, no, I don't know anything about the planes.
You know, it's really out of my wheelhouse as well. I grew up in the temple. I didn't really know much about interplanar travel.
But I tell you what, you want to snare something, or if you want to, like, I don't know, find some traps, I'm your girl.
Maybe you can trap the princess.
That's an approach.
You know, a little bit of a snaring the majesty.
Maybe. She's been
I
here
don't
the
know how fond
whole...
of that you're...
Maybe she's been here the whole time, she's just invisible. Good thinking. I'm gonna start laying out a rope on the floor on the princess's bedroom.
Track that tiara.
No, I'm gonna cast snare on the floor in this room. if a small, medium, or large creature moves onto the ground inside the rope, they must succeed a dexterity saving throw or be magically hoisted into the air.
As like one of the other siblings walks into the room.
You're not allowed. This is sacred ground now, as far as we're concerned.
Huh?
This is a crime scene. You can't just come and go.
My apologies. Are you guys done here? I mean, if it's you know, forest is that way.
if she comes back home, at least she won't be leaving anywhere, because she'll get caught in the trap and have to stay in her room like a good princess. So we have solved one part of the problem, and I would say that is a job well done, everyone. And Zero will go around and start shaking everyone's hand, saying, "Good job, good job, good job, good job."
I can honestly say that's something that none of us have thought to do. So,
I mean, that is why we were brought on to help, right? New perspectives and all that.
yeah, clearly.
Creative
we
problem
hired
solving.
Some unique thinkers.
Well, that's nicer than other things I've been called, so guess that's progress. Well, shall we peruse into the forest at this point? I feel like we have some things to kind of keep an eye out for.
Yes, I would love to go. Do you know, of all of the terrains out there, the forest is my favorite.
The
How
forest.
convenient. I'm gonna summon my imp to rejoin me. And yeah, shall we head out? Anything else we want to look for while we're in here? I'd like to take the notes with me that I kind of collected from her desk, just in case. If that's okay.
Okay.
Like I'm not stealing anything. I just for clues.
Do we have to tiptoe around this snare trap that's been set?
Yes.
Probably.
Don't step in that circle.
Oh, all right.
How big is this snare trap?
That's a very good question. A 5-foot radius, so 10 foot across.
Taking up the
Okay.
whole room.
It's taking up a lot of the empty floor space.
Walk carefully and against the walls.
Like just hugging walls all the way out.
Everybody roll me a dexterity check.
Gosh.
Okay,
It's not going to be a very high
with
DC,
advantage.
'cause- Sure, because you're on flat ground. I mean,
12.
Oof. I might want to use an advantage on this. I don't know what's gonna happen if I accidentally step into the circle.
See,
It's just
we're only in the
check, right?
first room.
And thank
know.
you, Michael Wayne, who donated another advantage specifically for you, Ashley. So we'll use that one up.
Oh, I will absolutely use that. Thank you so much. Okay, that was worth doing. Whew. No, actually, no, I don't know what the DC is. So let's hope. 15.
okay. Elowen, you still have to do this too.
Really? Even setting the trap? All right.
Yeah.
Well, is it a save or just a check?
Just to check.
I am gonna use an advantage. Oh my god! I rolled a 6.
And you are trying to work everyone else around this trap and make sure nobody like trips and falls. But you accidentally kind of like put a foot too far in and you get caught in your own snare. The DC was 10.
Look. This isn't ideal, alright? Can someone help me out of this, please?
Zero.
Can we like reach up?
I think all of you were in here while she was setting it up, so you could easily figure out how to like undo it or cut her down.
Amir, please just cut the rope from the top and let her drop.
Sure. So I'll take out my sickle and I kind of like. Well, at least we know what that does now. That would have been a good strategy if she had come back, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, do I do this again or do I leave it?
Well, now you're on the side of the room that's next to the door, so if you did it again, you wouldn't have to like figure out how to get around it.
Right. Is everyone is everyone finished in the room?
I think we're done here.
Right. Cautiously lay the trap and like just throw it and cast. Like
Okay, there's a new a refreshened functioning snare trap in the middle of this bedroom.
Can't believe I did 2 spell slots on that.
This
Ouch.
in this bedroom.
The first room of this, and Scrap manages to hurt himself.
Literally for everyone in chat, I said like between Scrat and Alex, I was not sure we were gonna make it past the first encounter. For the record,
This is an encounter?
it is now.
Yourself.
It didn't start that way.
Encountering yourself.
And you all are able to, maybe with some bruised pride, but with a great deal more information, kind of make your way out of the mansion, basically, and you're able to make your way through town. And it is no mystery as to where this forest is. It's like right there. It's probably like half a mile in. You can see the like edge of the trees. There's like open grass between here and there. Like it's a straight shot. You can see above this kind of dark, from the distance that you're at, it just looks like kind of like a big black blob almost, even in the bright sun, because it's kind of like mid-morning. And you can see the mountain range peeking out over the background. You could just see like these snow-covered tall peaks kind of on the other side of the forest.
I would like to send my imp to kind of fly like, I don't know, like maybe 10 feet ahead of us.
Okay.
I think, what with the duration of her... Oh, hello. There's wild dogs out here! What with the duration of her being missing, I don't think it's much worth me really looking for tracks at the minute. Might as well wait until we get more clues.
Yeah, that sounds fair. Do we know how dangerous this forest is? Like, is it known for being... I mean, people seem to have come out of it with some weird stories, so we should probably be on somewhat high alert going in here, right? From what we've learned about it.
Yeah, so what you were told was that most of the people who come back They just talk about strange things happening. They don't necessarily talk about dangerous things happening, except like there's a few people that come back really hungry because they were like lost in there for months. There's some kind of like people come back like suffering from like exposure. They come back twitchy. They talk about like voices and things like that, but they come back whole. There are a couple of people that don't come back at all, but usually those are people who kind of went in alone or got separated from the group. So it's not like they were attacked and somebody died. They're just people that just like also disappeared in the woods.
Well,
Do we have any information about what paths or directions these other search parties may have gone, or at this point has it been every direction possible?
What you were told is that people just kind of like dove in. Because of the way this forest springing up overnight, there isn't like a road through it or anything.
All right, shall we say a quick prayer to Lathander and go in?
Sure. I mean, I don't know if Lathander would like me very much, but I'll go along with that.
Oh, I'm sure Lathander would love you. All right. So Mira's gonna get down and say a little prayer to Lathander.
I've heard it's always sunny in the Church of Lathander.
Oh, it is. It's wonderful. It's bright and beautiful, and everything's gold, and it's wonderful. Just give me a moment, if you don't mind.
Oh, yes.
So Mira's going to get down and Lathander, please guide our paths with your light and show us the way and help us find Leona so we may bring her home. Thank you. Okay.
Cheers to that.
I'm done. Thank you.
Here.
And you feel kind of warm and fuzzy inside. You don't know if that's Lathander or just your own personality, but it's a good day.
Or the alcohol's finally kicking in, like.
Or a little bit of all three.
your 9 a.m. tankard of ale.
Travel beer. It's the way to go.
And so finishing your prayer, you all kind of make your way uneventfully to the edge of the forest, and as you approach, you notice a few things. These are large trees. These are not kind of like a typical young growth forest or anything. These are like very sturdy. They're full grown, like the size of oak trees and maple trees. The weird thing about them is as you approach this forest, the whole thing looks black. Getting closer, you can see that that's just the bark and the wood of these trees is like a dark ebony color. But the strangest thing is even from here, the leaves look like an oily black.
I'm gonna go ahead and cast light in my hand, just to get a better look at where we're going and in this really dark and mildly terrifying forest.
So right now you are just on the tree line and you cast light and you're able to see a little bit farther in. You can tell that the trees are pretty close together. Like you're gonna have to work your way through the trees.
I was about to do something stupid and ask to detect magic, but since this forest popped up overnight, I'm guessing they're all over. It's like, yeah, magic. It'd be kind of pointless.
So what you notice with this light glowing in your hand is you kind of like peek past the edge, and it's a hard edge. It's not like a normal forest where there's kind of like give and take and kind of a little bit of trees. It's like suddenly forest. And you can kind of peek through the first couple of trees, and using the light and looking around, You notice actually that the leaves, now that the light is reflecting off of them, aren't black, but they kind of are a shifting duochrome of like deep green and purple, very much like an oil slick. But you can only really tell that they're colored with the light. You can see into the forest now that as your eyes start to adjust, that there is light coming in from the sun above, but it's very, very dim. So it is dim light. So you can kind of see, but your light really helps illuminate things pretty significantly. You can tell why, even from above in the tower back at the mansion, that they couldn't see really much because the tree cover is very thick. The ground seems to be covered with kind of mosses and ferns instead of like normal shrubbery or flowers, things that really are going to succeed in this very dim light.
Welcome in, raiders. Thank you very much for the raid. So, things about the forest. My natural explorer place, so like we can't get lost or anything like that. Difficult terrain doesn't slow us down. I'll be leaving like little marks on the trees and things to make sure that we don't get lost. And we can move stealthily at a regular pace. I'll give everyone a quick, rundown on how to move stealthily through the forest. And if anyone gets hungry, let me know. We can find things that are safe to eat.
Great. That makes this a little bit easier then.
Yeah, sounds like you are the ideal companion for this journey into this forest.
You've got 99 trees, but a birch ain't one, apparently. So...
Yes.
I don't know what to say to that.
It's almost too convenient, really. Oh, it's almost as if they hired me. Because of the strange forest.
Makes perfect sense.
So what, I mean, like, hypothetically, what could we
The
eat in a
backer-
forest like this? Like, do you just like for mushrooms or something?
Well, it depends. Don't eat anything that looks like Big Ear's house. Big Ear's, the classic cartoon gnome.
Sure. I don't think I know that one.
Oh, hang on a minute. This might be a UK-US thing. You guys don't have Noddy out there?
No, it's a UK-US thing.
My world's just been changed slightly. Okay.
I'm guessing it's like the red and white one.
Well, yeah, he had his friend called Big Ears, who was a garden gnome that lived in a toadstool. That's how English people know not to eat toadstools. You don't eat anything that looks like Big Ears' house.
That checks out. Really noted. We have gnomes here, like gnome lore, just not that specific name. So today I learned a new,
Yeah.
new story.
Right? Yes.
So is your pep talk done? Are you going to go in, or do we have more wisdom to impart?
I think we've got all the wisdom. We should be pretty safe from beasts as well, if we come across any beasts. But if it's not a beast, I don't want nothing to do with it. It can sling its hook as far as I'm concerned.
Everybody just nods.
The silent nodding. I know it. Like, okay.
So, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right.
And you kind of enter into the forest. What is our marching order? I assume Elowen is out front.
Yes, I'll take point.
And I can be close behind with the light.
That sounds good. And I'll go behind Mira.
Sure, I'll go kind of behind. Yeah, I'll go behind Zira to kind of make up the tail.
Okay.
Just don't get distracted by that ash. And she'll point out to a tree again.
I'll try my best.
I've got a counter going.
Well,
I
that's
feel like that
three
should be an
jokes.
incentive.
Yeah, that's three
Donate
jokes
for
so far.
puns. Elowen, can
Yes.
you make me a survival check for making your way through the trees?
Indeed. I should inform you that I automatically have advantage on wisdom-based checks whilst I'm in my natural explorer terrain.
Sure.
21.
Go for it. Awesome. And so you make your way through, picking your way through the trees, heading in what you think is the direction of the tower. Happens to be north because that's convenient. So you're heading in a northerly direction. And on a 21 survival check, I'll also kind of give you some information about what you've noticed. There's a few things you've noticed specifically. There's like not a lot of animal sounds. Usually in a forest like this, you at least hear like squirrels or you hear birds popping around. It's like eerily silent, comparatively at least. You mostly hear the sounds of your companions.
Oh. Retweets are a great way to support the stream if you don't have the funds to make a donation, by the way. You can find our link there on the tweet command, which I have now updated. Welcome back, Kelly.
And it's so weird because my side seems fine. As you travel through, you notice the eerie silence, and you notice that normally a normal forest is going to have kind of flow, give and take, low points, high points. There's going to be open spots with trees. This seems oddly even to you. It's weird how consistent this forest is. As you've been traveling for about an hour or so, Amira, what are you thinking about?
Thinking about how this forest is weird, and I've been in lots of forests before, but there's something that feels like too, not perfect, but just like unnatural about it.
And now, hold on, before you give me any more,
Yes.
can you make a wisdom saving throw?
Oh no! Yes.
As you feel something tickling in your head, and you know that it's learned what you're thinking about.
Oh no. Okay. Saving throw, right? Okay. Blowing on it for good luck. Okay, it's actually pretty good. 18.
Okay. And you know that it's gotten these surface thoughts, and as it tried to kind of dive a little deeper, you recognize it and like shoo it out. That's it.
I would like to, let's see, hang on real quick. I would like to use my awakened mind to communicate with Zira in front of me, telepathically.
Okay.
Hey, Zira, it's your new friend Amira right behind you. Don't forget. Look, this probably isn't helping much, but something just tried to poke into my mind. So you might want to, keep your thoughts, on lock. I promise it wasn't me doing. I know, and this is weird because I'm also speaking to you in your head, but I just told you that things are poking in your head, but this is just a warning. I didn't want to say it out loud in case something's like watching us. But just
Tell
be careful.
me you couldn't hear my thoughts when we were in the princess's bedroom. Please tell me that.
So I don't know if you can actually communicate back to me because it's not like message. So is that something that you say aloud?
She'll say it under her breath.
Okay.
Like, please tell me you did not hear anything when we were in the bedroom of the princess.
I have a feeling that whatever is doing this out here where we are now. So just think shallow, silly thoughts for whatever is preying on us.
All right. I shall return momentarily. And Zira is going to kind of not go far, but she will go off into the forest to kind of create a little something.
I understand if you need a personal break, but if you go too far, you don't get my protections anymore.
No, don't worry. I'm not going to be long. I won't be far.
If you find a convenient bush, we'll close our ears.
Just give me a moment. And she'll scurry off for a moment.
While you paused, Elowen, will you roll me another survival check?
Of course.
With advantage still.
Exactly the same roll again.
Which is good, because on that high of a roll, you get the feeling that you're not really making any progress.
Oh.
Like, you said you mark trees and stuff as you're going, like that scratch is about your height. And it's on a tree like 5 feet in front of you.
Oh.
Because while you can't get lost, you can get lost by magical means.
Yes, I can. That's true.
I looked it up.
We're going in circles. I stopped the party.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of beckon Mira in a little bit. Like, look, I think there's something that's like trying to like poke into our heads. I don't know, something's weird. So just like, I don't know, be on alert for that.
Oh no! What did you experience? What did you feel? What did it feel like?
Well, I mean, it's something I just could kind of feel this like other presence in my mind trying to like detect my thoughts or something like that. And I was able to I got very distracted for obvious reasons.
I'm so sorry.
It's amazing. It's perfect. It's beautiful.
Very smart.
Amazing what you can find in the forests here.
Thank you very much, Stella Luna, who has donated $25. I don't think they've nominated anyone. So who's on forfeits at the minute? Who's on? What sided dice shall I roll? Is it just me and Alex?
I have atomic fireballs because my beans didn't get here in time. So I'm
Atomic fireballs. I have a love-hate relationship with those things. Okay, I'll roll a d3 then. So we'll do it in the order that we were introduced. So Kelly, you're a 1, I'm a 3. Alex.
If this wasn't for the kids, I'd be flipping it over to a different number of digits.
Oh, hang on.
Right now!
Cancel that. Stella's made a comment in chat. She wanted me. Saved
by the chair.
Saved! Oh. Rotten egg or buttered popcorn. Oh, I had such hope. It tasted sweet for like a half second. Oh, rotten egg.
Well, Scrat recovers. Zira, you've wandered off to take a moment. What are you thinking about?
Currently, pizza, or do you mean Zira? Sorry, Zira is probably currently thinking, think on sexy thoughts, think on sexy thoughts, think on sexy thoughts, think on sexy thoughts, think on sexy thoughts.
And you two feel this like tingle of something in your head. And it almost feels amused. And then leaves.
We've had another donation. Mackenzie wants Alex to eat the thickest grasshopper.
Jean-Gia, look away. Look away, child. Don't look.
And while Alex does that, Elowen and Mira, as as the two of you and Amira are kind of huddling, waiting for Zira to return, the two of you noticing kind of past the other one's heads, just like out of your peripheral vision. Was that the way those trees were? I thought that tree was over there.
Are the trees moving? Did they shift?
They might well be. That would explain us, rather than going in circles, maybe the trees are moving. I shouldn't be able to get lost in the forest, so that means I would deduce, I hope you don't mind me, Dungeon Master, that there's something magical going on.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Do the trees, they look like trees, correct?
Yep.
Well, is there another way that we could be tracking where we've been? I guess if the trees are moving, then that becomes more complicated.
Well, I guess I can locate animals or plants. Maybe since I can locate plants, can I locate tree? Like, that means I could possibly tell this tree we have been to. Or, I don't know. The tinfoil is getting in the way of my actual thoughts.
Unintended side effect.
Unintended side effect is I'm blocking my own temporal lobe. Elowen, aren't you a tracker?
That I am, yes.
Well, go.
Well, we're going in circles.
How tall are the trees?
They're tall.
Like taller than 40 feet tall?
You could probably find a 40-foot tall tree.
Are there critters afoot?
Some of them are taller, some of them are shorter. You haven't heard critters, which has been to the point of it's weird.
So I can't exactly ask the animals for help.
I'll take Zera's encouragement, and I'll look around the ground for any tracks, including our own. Any tracks at all.
I'll hold over the 21 that you had rolled before. And as you look on the ground, you're actually able to follow where you've basically been wandering around in like a what looks to be like a fairly wide circle. You've probably crossed over. You can see maybe 2 sets of your own footprints in the dust. But you also see places where they seem to have been brushed away almost, but not like by a hand or something else. It's like streaks, like lines cutting through. And at that, Amira, who's been in the back, you actually hear behind you a creaking sound of wood, and you're able to flip your head back just fast enough to see the roots of a tree settle back into the ground.
The trees they definitely seem to be moving. Did anyone just see that right now? The roots, just like the trees are definitely moving.
That's not supposed to happen, right? That's not.
No, I don't think so. Maybe Elowen knows more about these kinds of forests, but I've never seen trees do that kind of thing before.
No, trees are supposed to be stationary as far as I'm concerned. I'm worried that I've been somewhat tricked. This isn't a forest at all. It's some kind of magical thing. What did they say? That the forest just appeared one day?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would like to send my imp up 40 feet to the tree line just to see if the tower still looks as far away as it did when we started embarking in the forest. So I can look through Chernok's eyes just to see this. I just
Okay.
want to do a quick scout and just relay whatever I see to my companions.
Yeah, so he's able to kind of get all the way up and kind of peek up above the tree line. There's, some leaves in the way, but he's able to get like a lay of the land essentially. You do look closer. You're kind of thinking like the edge of the forest to the tower itself. You're maybe like a third of the way in. So you have made some progress, but not nearly as much as you should have made in the hour plus you've been traveling. He does notice, actually, roll a perception check for him.
Thank you very much, Runaway Robot, who has donated another $25 for me. This one's either going to be skunk spray or licorice.
They're both terrible.
I really like the licorice.
I don't like licorice.
I also really like licorice. It's like, that doesn't sound bad.
This ain't it. This ain't
These are the
licorice.
true conspiracies.
I mean, admittedly, after just having a rotten egg, it's not as bad as the rotten egg, but that's where I'm at now in the stream. It's grading how bad the flavors are against one another. Like,
This
Well, you could do, like,
flavor
a
is
full
S
review.
tier. Yeah, you could do the Bean Boozle things in tiers, the best bean versus the worst.
Ashley, what was that perception check?
Not very good. I rolled a 5 total.
Okay. Yeah, so he can see the tower. He can see
Yeah.
the mountain, the line of the mountains. You're making some progress, not a whole lot. That's what he can see.
Okay.
He can actually kind of see back to the edge of the trees, kind
Sure.
of where they stop.
Well, I relay that to my companions. It looks like we've made a little bit of progress, but not really as much as we should have for how long we've been traveling.
Do we know how, did you see how far away the tower is?
Well, it looks like we're a little closer to it, but it still looks like it's a ways off. And if the trees are moving, that kind of makes our travel a little bit more difficult. But maybe we just continue heading. It looks like the tower hasn't moved, at least. So maybe if we continue heading in that direction.
Elowen, do you feel like you still have a grasp of the forest?
Well, not really, but I'm willing to persevere.
If you don't mind taking a moment with me,
Sorry, the voices in my head are getting kind of loud.
Two wonderful D&D games going on simultaneously.
they've moved to the kitchen.
Snacks are important.
Yeah. Well, just to keep this brief for the sake of the sound, I'm going to say a quick prayer to Lathander and also cast Enhance.
Oh, you're muted.
Mute halfway through the sentence.
Dang it. I was trying to scroll on my other screen, and then so that will give you advantage on I'm gonna give you the with owl wisdom. I can't see it closed when I clicked, but it will give you advantage on wisdom saving throws for the next hour. Or wisdom checks. Let me double check.
Well, while Mira is looking at this, Zira, you get the sense that the four of you are being watched right now. And as you look back around, kind of like, you realize that there's a deer standing like 20 feet away.
I'd like to speak with animals. If I may. Wait, can I use that? No, wait. Yes, I can. No.
I would like you all to know
Yes, I can.
I'd like you to know how difficult it is for me to hold back on puns because I'm playing a serious character. Okay, it's real hard.
You really missed out on the oh dear.
Exactly. All right. So yeah, she'll use speak with animals, and sit down slowly on the ground and cross her legs and sit upright and just go bonjour.
And it doesn't speak back. And you realize that this is not a beast.
Sacre bleu.
And that, as you're sitting, this deer, which is a large stag with these like high-reaching antlers. It's easily taller than the tallest of you. And as it shifts out of the darkness into the light, it's purple. And it has 6 legs. And its antlers, rather than made of antler, seem to be, instead of like the bony substance, opalescent almost. They kind of shine and shift like pinks and blues and white colors as the light kind of dances. And it just kind of paws at the ground at you.
Now, I know a thing or two about beasts, and that ain't right.
I'm not very fond of that. Not at all. Not at all. Oh dear. Everyone, this isn't your regular deer. Bambi's got an issue over here.
So the deer aren't really deer, and the trees don't seem to be very tree-like. So this place is weird.
Mira. Not Amira, Mira. Erica. You hear, all of you hear something in your heads talking to you, but only Mira can understand it. And you know that it's speaking in Celestial.
Oh,
And it says, and it just says, follow the Fae. And as it says this, the deer turns and starts to walk kind of pretty slowly. Like it's not hoofing it. I can play this game too. Into the woods, kind of walking away from you all. Kind of veering off of the tracks that you were following, but moving in the general direction that you had been going before, or at least thought you were going.
did everyone hear that?
I can hear this strange murmuring in the background. I can't
mean,
quite make out what it's saying, though.
Well, it said to follow the Fae, but it said it in Celestial, just so everyone knows. And then the deer started to walk away, so maybe, is that a good idea? Should we follow it?
I mean, it seems Fae-like. It's not really my area of expertise, but sure looks like it, right? And if it was in Celestial, I mean, do Fae usually speak Celestial? That seems odd, right?
I feel like they usually speak Celestial or Sylvan, maybe.
It's a bit weird, really. I always thought Celestial would sound a bit more grandiose than that. That kind of just, sounds a bit like people talking at like a party or something.
Yeah. It's very much more relatable than I expected Celestial to sound like.
I agree.
Well, maybe we should follow that creature. Doesn't seem like it's going to hurt us.
Oh.
I mean, if the voice said it, maybe we should, or maybe the voice is trying to trick us.
You seem like someone who's, someone of faith, someone who knows Celestial. Are those usually trustworthy beings who speak that language?
I mean, I've never really spoken to many celestials. I mean, I've tried to speak to Lathander a bunch, but I mean, you know, gods are finicky about who they talk to.
Oh, sure. Patrons are like that too. They're sometimes very mercurial. So you never know when you're going to get a little, weird message written in, appearing in tentacles or weird things like that. So yeah, I mean, celestial seems good, all things considered.
Amira, roll a Arcana check with advantage.
Sure. Oh no, my dice fell off the table. Hang on, I gotta find another D20.
Reroll.
Floor rolls don't count. That's the rules.
Actually, let's see if I can see it. Oh, it's actually pretty good. That was my 16's on the floor, but my 18 is on my desk. So 22.
There's magic stuff going on. There's face stuff going on. There's planar stuff going on. You wonder if maybe Leona was successful. There are places where the Fey realm and the material plane touch and things leak through sometimes. And it seems like, just based on the air, it seems like it's almost ripped a hole and you're essentially fallen. You do also know, just reminding you of this fact, may or may not be relevant, that warlocks can have Fey familiars too.
Thank you very much as well. Grant, who's come in with a sub, doesn't support the charity, but his free $5 donations do support the charity. There might be more coming in as well. I'm not sure if it's quite up to date yet, but I'll add them as they come on in. Thank you very much, Grant.
Yay.
Upon hearing the celestial in my head along with the deer-esque thing, I'd like to quickly say a little quick prayer to Lathander and cast Detect Good and Evil.
Okay. Remind me again the details of that.
So for the next 10 minutes, I know if there's an aberration, celestial, elemental, fey, fiend, or undead within 30 feet, and where it's located.
Okay. You get that the deer thing is definitely fey. You actually get like a couple other like faint fey blips that pop in and out, just kind of around you, but nothing substantial. But yeah, the deer is definitely fey, but you don't within 30 feet you don't get a celestial feeling. You don't get anything like that. But I will let you know if that changes in the next 10 minutes.
Great, thank you. So that deer's definitely fey.
Okay, that's good. I also want to relay what some of what our DM just told me to my companions. I mean, you've probably seen my little imp flying around. Sometimes people have, familiars like that are, from the Feywild. So perhaps that's what this deer is. Maybe they belong to Leona.
Mira, for the record, because I'm not very good at voices, the voice in your head sounded male.
It
was a deeper tone than you would necessarily expect from like a slight average human woman.
Well, the voice was a lot deeper than I would expect of how I expect Leona to sound.
That's fair. Maybe, yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe it seems like there's a lot of different arcana converging here, and things are wacky right now. So Maybe let's follow the deer and see what happens. It doesn't seem like it's hostile toward us, so maybe it just wants to guide us to where we need to go.
I am always down to follow strange purple deer that are not actually deer.
Right.
It's my favorite pastime.
I don't think I get any of my like beast things for that thing. I think it's an insect.
Well, it does have 6 legs.
That
There we
counts.
go.
That's what an insect is, right?
Classic insect right there.
Ooh.
Well, I don't know if we have much other choice than to go in circles or that maybe we should just follow this thing.
It's like standing like just out of like eye light. Unless you have dark vision, and then it's fine. And it's like looking at you and like snorting and like
It's like, come on.
Okay. And Zero will start like huffing and puffing her way over there, I guess.
Alright, well, I guess it's only a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to follow a strange six-legged purple deer in the forest when strange voices in your head tell you to do it in Celestial, so might as well go for it.
things that only happen in tabletop RPG.
Right.
It's gonna be a tale for the grandkids, that's for sure.
That's it. That's the tweet. Anyway, so as you follow this strange purple deer, probably follow for like half an hour. Where you're able to kind of, it doesn't seem to be paying attention to you. It seems to know that you're following it. You don't get any more, nobody feels anything else in their brains. And as you walk, at some point, the deer just vanishes. And it's not like you don't see it anymore. Like you see it and you blink and then it's not there. And as you look around, you've basically followed it into like a bit of an open clearing. And Eloin, with your passive perception, you can tell as you kind of have stepped forward, you can feel like the trees close around behind you. And you look around and there's not a gap in the wood. These trees around you are next to each other. There's no space. It's almost like they've grown immediately next to each other. And you all are standing in this circle. And looking around you, you realize like you're in this like clearing circle, which is oddly perfectly round.
Oh.
And there are 5 very large trees, kind of at different points along the circle, kind of evenly spaced. Like these trees are large enough that 3 or 4 kind of full-grown humanoids could like it would take to like wrap their arms around these trunks. These are like redwood kind of trees. Looking up, Amira, you can tell like you would not be able to send up at least these ones. He would not make it up, but there's other trees that kind of fill in the gaps in between. And in each of these large trees, there's a door in the trunk that is a different color. There are 5 colors on these different doors. There is a white door, a gold door. It actually kind of sparkles. It's like glitter paint. A black door, a red door, and a blue door. They each have a doorknob. They look otherwise identical besides their color. And they're easily large enough for any of you to walk through.
Alright, now listen. I don't want anyone to be alarmed, okay? We are here of our own volition. We are confident and we are meaning to be here. We are not in any way trapped, but the trees did just close behind us. So we're not trapped, but we can't leave.
Well, isn't that kind of what trapped means?
It's all about perspective sometimes.
That's true. When we were like investigating Leona's room, was there like a color palette that she seemed especially fond of?
So there is a couple things that, so in Leona's room, there were a lot of symbols of basically the fiefdom. And those were colored white, gold, and black. Those are kind of the colors of the sigil and the family crest and all that kind of stuff. The family crest itself also has flecks of blue in it, which happened to be the color of her room. Not of the whole room, but there were like her bedspread was blue and things like that. So those would be the primary colors in her space. Would be the white, gold, black, and blue.
Okay.
So then there's also a red door that doesn't seem to match those.
Well, should we each... I'm nervous to touch a door unless it takes us to another plane, which seems to be there seems to be some magic here that's not working correctly, and I'm afraid of where these doors might take us. So maybe we could like inspect them or something first.
That sounds like a good idea. And I mean, is the magic not working correctly, or is it working exactly as it was designed to be worked?
That's a good point. Sure.
Dibs on the blue sparkles. And Zero will start walking over to the blue sparkly door, or the sparkly door that she saw.
The sparkly door was the gold door.
Gold door. Oh, she'll walk over straight to that sparkly light. Oh, it's like the crowds in the audience are already holding up their flames in their hands towards me. Their torches. And she'll start like tentatively touching it.
Are you just touching the door? Are you looking for something?
I guess any signs that maybe it has been used recently, or is it locked?
It is
upon
not
touching
locked. No, it is not locked. You can jiggle the doorknob.
All right. Well, she'll start doing like open, close. Like this one's open.
And each time you open the door, another sack, a jingly sack, a favorite sound pops out of gold coins. You open
Zero
this
will
first.
be oblivious to this at first. She's just like, this door like works.
And after you've opened it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times. Oh, that's an odd. I didn't notice that. After you've opened it 13 times, things stop falling out of it. You're just opening and closing a door. But you are now surrounded by different coin pouches.
Those weren't there before, were they?
No.
No.
Don't think so.
The rest of you would notice that each time she opens the door, the pouch seems to get a little bit smaller. The last one just kind of chink out.
Just one singular coin.
Yeah, just this one like ding.
If you open it, the last pouch contains a single copper piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zero will just like look at me. Does anybody leave it lying around? No, just me. But yeah, it's fine.
Thank you,
What's
Adrienne.
in your doors?
Thank you, Adrienne Masling, for that another advantage in the pot. We are like $27 away from 2K.
Ooh,
Oh,
That's awesome!
that's half an advantage in a bean boozled, guys.
I'll take the black door.
Well, first, because I spent a lot of time figuring out the math for this, and so I want to be proud of myself. Zero, you gain 397 gold pieces, 31 silver pieces, and 16 copper pieces. And you realize that means that every time you open the door, it started with 200 gold pieces and halved, rounding down,
See?
Um,
Mathematical tinfoil hat here.
um,
Lost intelligence.
and you, Elwyn, you go towards the black door. Do you open the black door?
Well, I mean, that one, they opened the door and gold fell out of it. So, I'm not, hopeful that there'll be gold, but I imagine there'll be something that falls out of it. So I'll sort of stand slightly to the side, just in case it's a big thing, and I'll just open the door like that.
And as you open the black door, everybody needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh.
As this entire 60-foot clearing, radius clearing, gets filled with this large black energy sphere.
Oh. Yeah.
Zera's
Oh,
gonna be
that's not as nice
clutching
as
her
the other
bag
one.
of gold. Like, really, Alolan? Really?
Feel free to use those advantages.
Oh, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so it's a Constitution saving throw.
Well, I rolled a natural 20, so
So
Yay!
you're fine. Well,
Unless it's like, 21 DC. 21 save. 15 for me.
okay.
Oh, Alex.
oh no! Oh no!
As I clutch to my bag of gold and death surrounds
I don't have roll
me.
20 up. I gotta do this the old-fashioned way. Okay, so Mira, you take half. Amira, you take half. Rat, what did you roll?
I rolled 12. But also, Cookies has come in and donated $50, tipping us over the 2K scale, and also meaning we have some more forfeits to do.
Is that cookies like cookies? Like, oh.
I mean, the O's do look different in the font that they're output on my overlay. They all look the same size, but it could well be... Yes, cookies! Yes, it is. Oh yeah, I was
Thanks,
rolling.
cookies.
12.
So that'll be me. And
Yeah.
Alex.
Yay!
Scrat, what did you roll in that con save?
A 12.
12. Okay, so Elwyn and Zira take 18 points of necrotic damage. Amira and Mira take 9 points of necrotic damage.
Don't like this.
I keep managing to pick out the ones which are
And then
potentially
this-
rotten
the
egg.
black sphere dissipates.
Sorry, I didn't track that. How much damage was it?
18.
Bloody hell.
Okay, so maybe we don't open that one again.
Zira's gonna be there, like kind of a bit battered and bruised looking, but still clutching to her like bags of gold. And like, yeah, that's a wise idea. I agree completely, wholeheartedly.
I'd like to go over to the white door.
Okay.
I'd like to hide behind my tree.
You're in a perfectly circular clearing of trees that you can't get out of. I don't
Oh,
know
the
what tree
5
you're trying
trees-
to hide behind.
Oh, I thought the 5 trees were like in the center. Okay.
No, they're in the wall.
I'll crack the door just a little bit. After saying a quick prayer to Lathander.
And even Zira at this point will be doing like whatever the like symbol to Leander is at this point.
And as you crack this door just a little bit, shooting kind of out of the crack, is this blast of frozen cold air that goes all the way across the circle and hits the wall on the other side, and you can actually see the frost form on the trees. but since you just cracked it open just a little bit,
I immediately slam it shut.
past all of you.
Well, that was chilling. What else is going to happen next?
I don't know, I thought it was kind of cool.
Oh.
Was it a pun? Was it a good pun?
That was pretty good. It was pretty damn good.
That was good. Well, so the blue and the red door are left.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
All right. I'm just throwing it out there. The red door is probably going to be a fireball, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, what if it's like
Fireball,
love or
blood,
something good?
passion, hatred, anger.
Mm-hmm.
Luck.
You're probably right. It's probably a fireball. What about blue?
But it's also the color of royalty. Maybe the princess decided to hide in the color of royalty.
I thought purple was the color of royalty.
Both are, as is navy blue, for it takes the most inks to create those colors.
Greedy
making them a
buggers.
very expensive color to have. I'll say that's why we get stuck with yellow, but it does hide the armpit stains.
And brown, which hides other stains.
Yeah.
While they're talking and having this discussion, I'm going to. I think someone in the chat said to open both doors at the same time. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm going to do blue because that was a color that was found in Leona's room. I don't know if there's any link there, but I turn to my companions. Should I just like crack it open like Mira just did, or how do we want to do this? What if it's bad again?
Yeah, maybe don't fling it open.
That's where I went wrong. I got excited by the gold and thought that we'd just get some kind of gifts, and I flung it open. I threw caution to the wind, and I'm sorry.
It's very understandable, though. Gold is very exciting.
Yeah, it could have been anything that came out of that door, right? We started with a good one, so I'm going to very carefully crack open the blue door.
Crack it
Dishwasher.
open. And you crack open the blue door, and everybody. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh god,
Nothing happens.
Nothing that we
Cracked
see.
open a door.
What?
Maybe open it a little wider?
Sure. So I crack it open a little wider. Are we able to see, like, what's on the other side of the door at all?
If you want to have your head peeked around the crack, you can. Or if somebody wants to stand in the way of being able to see it, but you can't be fully blocked and be able to see in the door.
I'll send my imp like kind of to peek into the crack.
Okay, so
And
he'll
look
go
for
up
him.
and kind of like peek into the
Yeah.
roll a perception check for him.
Sure. Not great. I think that's just a 12.
Well, as he's kind of peeking, and what you see through his eyes is it's really dark, so it's hard to make anything out. The crack is barely cracked it open, so he's kind of like, right. But it seems to open up into a space, some kind of room, and there's kind of a shimmer in his way almost, but he can kind of see past the shimmer into like a room, but it's hard to see past it. But nothing happens when he like gets up close.
Well, this door looks interesting. Is it worth trying the red door just in case? Or, I mean, there's something shimmery in there. We've seen some other shimmery things in the forest so far.
All right, look. I'll try it. I'm gonna do, just the... That's all I'm gonna do, okay? So, be ready to duck just in case. Go up to the red door, and I'm just gonna...
And you're just gonna like pop it open and close it really fast.
Really fast. Faster than faster. Boom.
As you crack it open really quick, in that half a second that it's open, you hear chittering sounds of something behind it going, oh yes!
Oh, close it. No. There's. Now, did you all hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, that
And
does
as you,
sound good.
No, I'm
As you
terrified.
close the door, you still kind of hear voices on the other side of it now, and
So the blue door then.
Blue door seems like the safest bet.
Yeah. Is my detect good and evil still active? Has it been 10 minutes since I cast it?
It's been more than 10 minutes. You were following the gear for a while.
Well, I'm gonna cast it again. Is there any? Do I detect any? I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna detect some fae.
Yes.
Do I detect any celestials or elementals or?
You actually, whatever was making the sounds behind that door, you detect 3 more fae creatures.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Robbie Rolling, for another advantage in the pool. We have got like a veritable skyscraper. It's nearly as tall as Erica now. Next to our chat window that we need to crack through.
All the next rolls that we do, just advantage.
Yep.
Well, shall we? Is it worth going through the blue door?
I think so.
Well, we haven't got really any other choice unless inside the gold one is even more of this.
That's a good point. The gold one did give us lots of nice things. But it could also contain, like, a guilt demon or something.
Blue door then? Blue's a nice color. I've always been fond of the color blue.
And nothing weird's come out of it, so I think we're pretty good.
And what strange things are blue after all? Would you call the sky weird? Would you call the water weird? Seems like a safe bet to me.
Good argument. I'm convinced.
I mean, we need to make a decision.
Hard.
This seems to help us towards that goal. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hear kind of like scratching sounds at the back of the red door.
Oof.
Something's trying to like fiddle with the handle.
Oh no. Let's go. Maybe let's go now into the store. Yeah.
You know what? And Zira's gonna pile her gold in front of the door, like to try and. That way, I won't lose it in the blue room, and that might help keep the demons at bay a little bit.
Good idea. All right,
Then
let's
blue
go.
we go.
Merrily
Put in
forsooth.
Who's going
Mira?
first?
Yeah, who's going first? Who's opening the blue door?
I'll do it.
Sure.
Zira,
Everyone
you-
takes a step back.
And yeah, Zira won't like a light, gentle thing. She'll do the like open wide.
And you see in the doorway is this like shimmery veil. Amira, you would probably immediately recognize this as some kind of like teleportation something. You can almost kind of make out what's on the other side. Looks like there's some kind of space back there, but you can't see through the shimmer.
There's a chance that passing through this might take us somewhere else, so I'm not exactly sure. Zira, you might want to grab a little bit of your gold to take with you if you left all of it at the door, because I don't know really if we're going to come back here. Who knows?
Well, let me try something a second. And she'll go and she'll pick up the one small copper piece. She'll toss it through at the veil. And
goes
there's
through.
just goes through, disappears. Well, at least it didn't get destroyed before our eyes, so that's a good sign. And she'll pick up a twig and toss a twig, and she just so it's like a kid that has just discovered a little tiny puddle of water. You know, they're just like, how big a splash can this make? And you just start like tossing lots of little like different objects in.
After the twig, I'm like, Zira, hang on, it occurs to me that if we're trying to find the princess and she's behind that veil, she might not want to be covered in copper pieces and twigs and things.
Okay. And she'll pick up a Lowen and toss her in.
Aren't you a halfling?
Yes.
Roll a strength check.
Yes. I would like to use my advantage.
Yeah, this is gonna be really high. Elwyn, what? How big are you?
Well, I'm an elf, and a wood elf at that, so I'm quite short, actually. I'm about 5'10", and I only weigh about 68 kilograms. Don't ask me to convert it, I haven't got a clue.
Me neither, but I'll just assume.
About 2.5 bags of big dog food.
I got a 10.
And
Even with the
so you like try. You're like, you've got your. And Elwyn, you're just like, what are you doing? Like, just give me back my leg.
No, Zira, what? Stop that.
Maybe we just, walk through independently.
Way a lot for a wood elf.
I can go in. I will pray to Lathander to keep me safe as I go through this mist, but, I think I'll be all right. So I'm going to step through.
And you step through.
I'll follow.
Okay. And Mira, as Mira steps through, nothing really happens. Mira steps through. They went through.
I wave at our companions on the other side.
You see this blob. It's like.
Can we see the veil like behind us?
So as the two of you step through, you turn back, you still see the shimmer. You can kind of see your two companions on like vague outlines. You know that they're your two companions just because common sense, kind of basic deduction. And what you see in front of you is you are in another stone circular space. So you're in a circle. Stone walls line every direction. There doesn't seem to be any obvious entrances and exits. There's no doors or anything. And the only thing in this space, even the floor is stone, is a large built-in basin. It seems to be built into the floor. There's maybe like a foot lip around the side of raised stone. And this large pool of kind of shimmering liquid that seems to change from like pink to orange to green, not in bright like neon tones, but more muted naturals, like the colors of flower petals or the green leaves on the trees. You see like the color of water, and it just kind of like swirls, but nothing happens to you. There's nobody over there.
Interesting, but doesn't seem dangerous, at least.
I have no idea what this pool is.
Is there a twig that Zira had tossed through the veil that I can toss into the pool?
You see there's like a twig and a piece of rock and a copper coin just all kind of laying on the ground.
Yeah, I just want I'll actually take the coin and just kind of toss it in to the pool.
Okay, and as you take this,
don't forget to make a wish.
And toss it in. nothing really seems to happen. It like bloop.
Well, hopefully Zero won't be mad that I used a coin in that way, but at least, nothing jumped out of the pool, so worth doing, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad nothing's looking at us in here.
So, so Zira and Elowin, you're still in the clearing. You see your companions have moved through.
Zira, see you on the other side. Good luck out here with the demons on your own. Bye.
Well, I'm not gonna be the only one, and Zero will go like running through. Kind of did a bit of a dive.
Yeah. We're not showing what's going on here. Kelly, it seems her internet's fine. She seems to be having some sort of issue with Zoom. It could well be an update or something. These companies
I need to
updating
update
their
Zoom.
software curses.
Don't they realize we've got a
I'm
charity to run here?
I'm back.
Zero went diving through right after Elowin.
Did you actually dive? This is an important question.
A little bit, yeah.
Roll a dexterity check. Elowin, did you go through?
Yes, I was just I wished Zira luck and stepped through like a normal person.
And you step through and you see this open room and everybody's kind of standing there staring at this like pool of stuff.
I'm gonna use an advantage since I can. Gosh darn it! Okay, that was a 5.
And you dive
advantage?
through, and you stumble and you trip on the lip of this pool of glowing liquid and kind of stumble into it. And roll a d20 for me.
14.
And you turn into an orange oversized squirrel.
Oh no.
Did we see this happen?
Yes.
We just saw Zira fling herself through the
And she just kind of like trips and falls into the pool, and then standing in this like sitting in this like very shallow pool. Zira, you can actually see you can like pick up the copper coin that they'd thrown in earlier. You can talk. You
That's
just look
good.
like an orange squirrel.
I'm really glad I can still talk.
Well, at least we know what that water does now, I think.
So
Wow, what do you mean, what does it do? What did it do?
I mean, is this something? Well, okay, actually, I don't know, Zira. Like, are you able to turn into other creatures? Is that like magic that you know, or is that the pool that you're in? Because you're not what you were like a minute ago.
Don't think I can transform for another few levels.
well, you're a very large squirrel right now.
That's just nuts. Mm-mm.
Well, glad to see your, personality still
I don't
in
believe
check.
it. I refuse to believe in squirrels.
You hit yourself with your own bushy tail, not used to it being there. You're like this really pretty, like sunset orange color.
Could be worse, there's squirrels that don't have beautiful colors like that. Maybe it'll wear off over time. Something about this place feels somewhat temporal, so maybe it's just an effect while we're in here.
Or well, maybe she's just in the pond. Maybe if she gets out.
Oh yeah,
she'll turn back.
Yeah, why don't you step out of there? Plus it's wet and stuff, so let's have you dry off.
Illuminati confirmed.
I got nothing to follow that up with.
And
Resisting.
and you step out of it. And you look like a squirrel.
Shoot. Well, that didn't work.
I don't think I've learned anything to help with situations like this. My expertise are, mainly in healing and prayer and
I mean, same, except opposite. I can like blast things and hex things a little bit. Not really very helpful in this situation.
Look, I might have been slacking a little bit here. But I'm just going to cast Find Traps on this area. I maybe should have done this earlier.
You don't say. You don't say.
Does it just find like magical traps?
The spell would sense an area affected by the alarm spell, a glyph of warding, a mechanical pit trap, but it would not reveal a natural weakness in the floor, an unstable ceiling, or a hidden sinkhole.
Okay, I mean, there's nothing in here. That's like a magically glyphy, alarmy, trappy thing. Zira, you pop back. You're not a squirrel anymore. It's been a couple of minutes.
Oh, hey, you're back. Do you feel okay?
There's still takes like the tail takes like an extra 30 seconds or so before it disappears.
Feel nothing.
Yeah, it seems like everything's, back to normal. So that seems temporary. Do you think we are supposed to, let that happen? We're supposed to go in the pool? I don't know, really, the Fey stuff's not really my area of expertise, so.
Same. It's not really mine either. Is the pool the only thing in this room? It's just a big round stone area?
So are you looking around or are...
Yeah, Fred.
So you look around and you don't really see. You've got the pool, you've got stone walls. You're just kind of looking, and as you look up, you see that maybe 15 feet above you seems to be the start of a set of stairs that kind of go up and up and up until it hits kind of the ceiling.
Well, we can take those.
But they're like 15, 20 feet off the ground.
Somehow?
Well, I can cast Fly on... Let me see if I can do it with someone other than me.
Also, we just got another $50 donation for Extra Life. Thank you, Bowman. That's another two of us at random, so I'll roll that dice. It's Alex again. And Alex again.
Shenanigans.
See, the Illuminati is confirmed. It's been happening in this chat. Let me know if you would like 2 insects, 2 beet boozles, or 1 of each.
I think you should do one of each. Like at the same time. Definitely.
All right, so that lovely combo flavor of cricket and chocolate pudding.
Or dog food.
Wait, what is?
I know that
yeah,
one because it's the only one that I can't tell the difference between even when I'm pretty fresh, I can't tell the difference between chocolate pudding and dog food.
It's gonna be great. Chocolate pudding or dog food and cricket.
Unbeknownst to me, while I've been playing this game, my dog has ripped up an entire box of tissues behind me.
Oh no!
Your dog's mad that they aren't playing D&D.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have
He
known.
really likes
how...
to rip up paper products.
When they're quiet,
My dog does
right?
the same thing.
Just like kids, when they go quiet. Hey, Alex, how you doing down there?
I've got some very chocolatey crickets going on here.
That's like a thing some places, right? Like chocolate covered crickets. It's like a delicacy, right?
Yeah.
The crisp is nice. The aftertaste of dried dog food isn't so much. Crickets taste themselves a bit like dried dog food to me. Don't ask me how I know.
Hey, I used to work in a pet
store.
store. No judgment. No judgment.
You know, before you feed it to your pet, if you wouldn't eat it, don't feed it to your pet. No. Oh. Okay. Yep. Sorry,
So
go
last
ahead,
I heard,
Shania,
we were
there.
looking into the fly spell.
Yes, the fly
yeah.
spell.
I can only cast it on myself or one other person. Well, let's see. Who among us is maybe strong and could like lift other people up once we get to that stair? Zira?
I'm
Mira?
fairly strong. Yeah, I'm fairly strong.
I'm really not.
Yeah, me either. So
Oh, I lied.
Well-
I'm not as strong as I thought I was.
We could be heroes. Just for one day.
I'll do my best, though.
So just to clarify for the stairs, they're like, you said 15 or 20 feet, like above
let's say
us?
they're 15. They start like there's a bottom stair like 15 feet above you.
Okay.
So you have to figure out how to get,
Okay.
10 feet up, basically.
Okay. I'll cast fly on Zira. You said you were strong?
She's not very. She just put
Okay.
her hand up because she wanted to feel included.
I also was thinking, if we get someone up to that stair and then they can kind of like lean over and pull people up or something like that. I don't know if that's
I am a
More
great
serious.
man for such. I am little. You dangle me down. I hold on to you, and the other person pulls me up like I'm your own personal rope. That sounds really weird. Use me like rope.
Oh, I will send my imp can Turnock fly up a little bit on the stairs just to see if there's like maybe a lever or anything that could like move the stairs at all. Like what exactly are we trying to, like what do the stairs like kind of lead to, I guess? Am I able
Couple
to
different questions.
Yeah. Whatever.
So
is most-
he
yeah.
is able to get. He's not quite able to get all the way up to the top of the stairs if you're trying
Sure.
to see through his eyes, right? The 40 feet. So like it's like the 15 feet, then probably like another 30 feet, 40 feet up. So he can't quite get to the top. They look like stairs. Roll an investigation check for him.
That's very high. Int. 1 second. That is a 12.
Okay. He looking around these stairs he's able to see flying up there that this bottom stair there does seem to be actually in the wall like space for stones to pop out. So it does look like there's a way for more stairs, but on a 12 he can't figure it out how to do it. But there is a way to get more stairs to come out of the wall.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it looks like there is a way to lower the stair or get more stairs to help us bridge this gap. I also can, if someone wants to be flown up there to go check it out too, I can also do that.
I can go up.
Okay,
Or
sure.
Zira can go up, either one of us.
Look, I might
I
not be
dominate
very
you.
strong or very good at flying, but I do have a bow and arrow and some rope, and if there's a gap that needs to be bridged, there's a lot of wood around here, and arrows stick into wood quite well.
Sure.
Admittedly, this wood might be alive and do strange things with the arrow, but, up until that point, it's still sound.
I mean, wood can be very sticky, so I assume the arrow should get in there good.
I will cast fly on Mira because she was the first to express an interest in that.
I'll go up. I'm pretty sure I have rope. I'm checking my inventory right now.
For expediency's sake, Mira, you're able to fly up there, and after a minute or two, it takes you a minute or two, you find a spot on the wall where the stone is loose, and you're able to push it in, and the stairs kind of come out of the wall down and fill in the rest of the 15 feet. You guys have to kind of like out of the way to make sure that you're not like slammed by like a stair popping out of a wall back into the pool, the squirrel producing pool. But there are stairs now that you can walk all the way up.
Yay! That makes it a little bit easier.
And that was exhilarating flying. I've never done that before either.
It's fun, right? I mean, I don't do it
was
all the time,
wonderful.
but it's kind of exciting.
I know, I felt like a bird.
I sometimes have them flying dreams, you know. Where you're like flying, and then you're falling, and then you wake up and you're falling out of bed.
Mm-hmm. That's always.
Oh, I've had those as well. This was much, much better.
Shall we go up?
Yes, we probably
Let's do
should,
it.
shouldn't we?
Princess, let's find her. And Zero will scamper on up.
Mira, as you flew up, and as you were kind of like looking around, kind of going back up and down the stairs, trying to find something, having your detect evil and good up, you got, as you guys are walking up the stairs now, you get this like light ping of a celestial creature above you, kind of where you're heading, right before the spell fades.
Okay, so there's a celestial here. Just as a heads up, I don't know what it is, but it is above us, and we're heading right towards it.
But you can speak to those, right?
Yes. If it wants to speak to me, yes, I can talk to them.
Wonderful. Well, then you better take point, I think.
All right, I can lead us on up.
Can I possibly use clairvoyance further up the area? Cool. All right. I'm gonna use clairvoyance then, further up, so that as we get closer, just in case somebody decides to attack, we should be forewarned.
And that just lets you know. Sensor.
You can use the chosen sense through the sensor as if you were in its space. As your action, you can switch between seeing and hearing.
Okay, so I'll say you're able to, because it has to be a location familiar to you, but you can see kind of at this point you can see kind of up through the space. Yeah, you can see, so you can probably stick.
Yeah, so since that's an unfamiliar to me, yeah, just to further up the rope.
Yeah, well, so you're able to cast it kind of up the staircase, just high enough to be able to kind of see at a downward angle into the room, or be able to hear into the room above. So if you would like to do either of those things, you can.
Into the room, just slightly into the room,
just slightly.
Please.
And would you like to be able to see or hear?
Hear.
First. Hear. You hear the sound of a lot of hooves, kind of scratching at the floor. You hear the snort of a horse, and you hear a woman's voice going I don't want to do that. We've had this conversation before. No.
And Alex, Bite Me says that they hear you like the beans. Just one.
Love them. It's my favorite thing. Rotten egg, or wait, is this what I think it is? Oh, coconut or spoiled milk. That's what I have here. Thank you, Bite. Yeah, Zero will just start popping beans like she does anxiety or something.
Spoiled milk, I'm guessing. I fully believe those things are like poorly balanced.
Yeah.
I think even with the coconut, I feel like even when it tastes more like coconut, it still tastes of spoiled milk at the same time. Sorry, I'm chewing with my mouth full here.
So that's what you hear above you. What Zira hears, at least.
There's voices. There's hoofs. There's quieting and being told to stop. I think we're getting closer to something. Would she have recognized the voice? Like, does it sound anything? Whether maybe does it sound posher or does it have a more effeminate or masculine tone to it?
It sounds more effeminate. It's a higher pitched tone.
I think we're onto something.
Was it speaking? Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Was it speaking common or celestial?
It is a wonderful question. Was it common or celestial that she heard?
It was in common.
Common. It is common. Common as all us folk around here.
Wonderful. Interesting. Okay.
And there's a horse.
Big
I would
pardon.
like to. Oh, there's a horse. She's talking to a horse.
All right, Zira, I didn't want to bring up them beans that we've seen you eating, but I'm not sure they're good for your health.
It has a wonderful aftertaste. It's worth all the pain.
For the kids.
For the kids.
For the kids. For the kids. It's either a horse or a goat.
Or could it be one of those deer insects?
It could be a deer insect. Yes. Something hoovular.
That could be a lot of things.
Look, let's not just sneak around, shall we? Let's just go and say hello.
And as you say that, all of you hear kind of like a stomping of a heavy hoof.
That did sound hoovular, I think was the word that you used.
Very hoovular.
Very hoovular.
It sounds like somebody's commissioning like Hooverside up there, you know? Like it's incredibly hoovular.
Well, yeah, maybe we should go, say hello, like Elowen suggested.
Hoover doesn't come in charge for centuries. Sorry.
Sorry, totally hoovular and written out like that. It sounds like something somebody says like shucka bruh to hoovular.
That's what my neighbors say when I'm vacuuming.
But I think Zero will definitely continue towards the door bravely and naively and take a little peek inside with her clairvoyance before she actually opens. She'll use her action to now look instead of hear.
Yeah, so there's not really a door, it's just like an open space. So before you like get above the, you can imagine there's like this wooden floor and then there's like a hole basically in the ground that these stairs come up into, kind of like they're coming up onto a landing. So before you get within view of that space, you can look through, and what you see kind of looking up, you're seeing this from the ground angle, so it's a very strange angle, right? You kind of have like half of your peripheral is covered by like the wooden floor, and then you see 10 hooved feet above you, 6 of which you recognize from this stag that you've seen before, and then 4 more that are attached to a stark white horse with a singular horn coming out of the top, and they are both kind of looking at this young woman who's seated in what looks like kind of just a very comfortable like lounging chair. She's got like a table next to her with like a hot cup of tea, and she has like a book in her lap. And you can't hear what they're saying now, but she looks like very like, and she's staring down this unicorn.
So, not to alarm you all, but she seems to be having a stare off with a unicorn.
Does it look like Leona?
There's a familial resemblance. It seems a logical leap. It's more like a short stride.
She'll put exactly those words. She'll repeat exactly verbatim what Kelly just said. It's not a huge leap. It's like a short stride towards that logical conclusion there.
Right, well then, why don't we just, go and say, hey, all your family's wondering where you been.
I nominate Amira to go first. All in favor?
I mean, sure. I mean, seems fine. Seems like it's Leona.
Like the most, charismatic of us, maybe.
And I'm the bard.
That is true. We do have a bard. I mean, I will take that as a compliment, but at Zira's expense. So. But if it would make people comfortable, I would be glad to do first introductions. I will.
So, Amira, are you heading up?
Yes, at the behest of my companions.
Are the rest of you like following behind, or are you just kind of like letting her go up there by herself?
I'll follow pretty close behind.
Yeah, I'll follow as well. I'm tempted to do 2 and 2, but no, we'll go up as well. United front.
Elowen, as you head up the stairs, you feel that touch that everyone else has been feeling on what you're thinking. What are your surface thoughts?
What the bloody hell is she doing mucking around up here? Why isn't she back home with her family? This seems like a dumb mission.
And then
she's not even in danger.
Roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Not 20.
And it can't seem to get any farther. Everyone else, when they felt this, it just felt like inquisitive almost. As it's kind of, you feel like you are being weighed and measured.
That's very rude.
And you have been found wanting?
I love that movie.
Me too. It's so good.
No, it seems to. Okay. And you guys head up the stairs and you open into this room, and it looks like you're you actually see a couple doors off to the side. One of them's open. It looks like it leads to like a kitchen. Another one seems to be dark, but it's like a small wooden door in the wall. You're entering this room, and it's set up like a sitting room. There's like a nice couch. There's a table. There's like a kitchen table that nobody ever actually uses. It's like piled high with books. And you see Leona sitting in what looks like her like reading spot. She's got a big bookshelf behind her full of books. Some of them seem to move. Some of them seem to sparkle. They're very notable books. They don't seem quite like the ones that were back in her room. And you see that this room is very large. Because it's comfortably housing furniture, a unicorn, a 6-legged giant stag, and a human woman. and all of you now as you've walked up there. And there's like 2 snouts and a nose that all turn to face you immediately as you walk up into the room.
Hello. We are here to see Leona.
I'm gonna translate everything into Celestial as well, just to cover all our bases.
Zero will wave awkwardly.
As you're translating, Mira, you hear another a voice in your head, and the unicorn ahead kind of like nods and like, and you hear like basically this again, the same masculine voice as you'd heard before, say, "Thank you. I can understand common, but it's hard for me to speak it still. I'm still learning. But I appreciate the attempt."
Anything to make your life easier, unicorn? And I'm gonna do an awkward like bow.
And you guys just hear Mira saying stuff that you don't understand, and she bows, and this unicorn has like nodded its head to her.
Zero will bow too at this. Like, okay, we're bowing now. Like, okay.
This stag, as you all are doing this stag like almost like rolls its eyes and looks at Leona like, "I told you so." And she goes, "Ugh. Did my family send you?"
They did. They have been very worried about you.
I'm sure.
Are you here of your own accord, or do you need an escort back home?
I could get back home if I wanted to. And these 2 seem to think it's something I should be doing. In fact, I think they've been trying to convince me to go back home for like 1.5 years at least. My family's just so loud and they're so obnoxious. And you know, sometimes an introvert just wants their space. And my sister's always coming into my room, and I just want to read and be left alone sometimes. It's just very overwhelming. And then there's this noise. There's just constant noise and people asking me to do things. And you know, sometimes a girl just wants a break. And sorry, I get overwhelmed just thinking about it.
This is very relatable. So I don't think that you're alone in feeling this way. But yeah, the chat is saying that this is a mood, and I also feel like this is a big mood.
I feel targeted.
Agreed.
Well, actually, Leona, you should just stay here because it sounds a little bit better for you.
You know what, Leona? We've got you covered.
Yeah.
I just want my tea and my snacks and my pet.
And my books.
Would you like a blanket burrito? Let us help.
Does your family also leave the door open when they come in? Because I understand that.
She just goes through my things and she just takes my stuff, and then she leaves the wardrobe open. Like, it's fine if you want to borrow the dress, but close the door.
And that one knock and then they enter, because you asked them to knock and now they just knock and enter rather than knock and wait.
There's absolutely no privacy when you're the middle child of 5 siblings. And then they kept talking about making me like boss other people around, so I'd have to go do things all the time and like have engagements that I have to meet. I don't.
It may or may not surprise you all to see that Elowen is looking a little guilty, as the first thing she did when she went into Leona's room was to go through all her stuff and definitely left anything she touched open. She is that sibling.
Yeah, by the way, Leona, we also went through all your stuff.
But
I'm surprised there was anything to go through with the right Kara just steals my crap. Like,
we were trying to help find you, but I mean, I think that you should return to your family because they do miss you and are very worried about you. But you're an adult, so maybe it's time that you strike out on your own and, you know.
Yeah, and if you can come back here, you can come back here. Just let your family know that you're okay.
You know, every time like midwinter rolls around, I feel like I should go back. You know, it's like a holiday, right? It just feels like more work. So maybe popping back in like the middle of fall wouldn't be too bad.
that sounds like a great compromise. I mean, is this whole forest of your own making? Like, did you do all this?
Really
You know,
impressive.
just kind of so there's just kind of there's I heard this song when I snuck out to go to a bar. It was I was like 16. It was a while ago, and it was about like all these fae creatures that just kept popping up in the woods and by the mountains. And then like I snuck out and I wandered towards the mountains, and then I met Charlie here, who she gestures to the unicorn because that was a thing from when I was a teenager.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
And he was kind of funny, and he didn't like ask me to do anything, and like offered to be my patron, and give me some powers. And so then I went and I studied some, and I learned about all these things, and then I just kind of like nudged open the crack to the Feywilds and just kind of ended up here. But between Charlie and my familiar, everything seems to, except for those, you didn't run into the red caps that I locked in that run closet, did you?
No,
we
opened the door.
avoided those.
Okay, good. Those guys are a pain, but everything else here seems to like just leave me alone.
I happen to be a bit of an expert in beasts, and I can't help but notice that Charlie here has a bit of a scar in his mid-region.
Oh,
We don't
man.
talk about that. He won't. It's the one short story he won't share with me.
All I know is there's enjoyed with some fava beans and a bottle of Chianti.
And I know some other people have come looking for me, I know, in the past, and they tend to get as far as the downstairs, and then they get turned into something, and then they pop back. But then, Roger, he's building a cottage like a mile and a half down the road because he realized he was an introvert too, and he just kind of decided to stay.
Well, you can have both. I mean, I have a patron too. They're not as, sparkly as your patron, but, you can kind of sometimes negotiate these things with them. So if you always need a place to come by yourself, it sounds like you have that option, which is great. A lot of people don't have that option. So you kind of have the best of both worlds. Like, literally, it's like both planes.
True. And plus, if you let your family know, they'll stop sending people to bother you.
That's a
It's
good
true.
point. That's a good point. I didn't really think about that. Well, I guess we can go back.
And
Just
hey,
come back for a little
if you
bit.
need me, I can always make you a little tiny hut.
Oh, like my own little tiny space.
Yeah, it can fit like 9 medium-sized people, so
Or like me and Charlie.
Well, yeah, maybe 4 medium-sized people and 1 Charlie. And you can go in it freely. No one will bother you. They can't see it. It's opaque from the outside. You can just hide. I'll be your personal tiny hutter.
Okay.
I've been looking for a job for ages. to do this.
This was Zira's real motivation for coming on this.
I needed a job, okay? It's a tough life out there for a bard. There's not many happy things to sing about. Let me make huts.
She's like, oh, I guess that wouldn't be too bad. As long as you didn't talk quite so much.
Yes. The royal huttery. The mad hutter.
Pretty good, actually. That's pretty good.
And and Leona agrees to go back, and even Charlie even offers to teleport you straight back, so you don't have to deal with traversing back through the woods.
Oh, thank goodness.
And you all just appear in the middle of the council chamber. The 4 of you, Leona, a unicorn, a giant sparkly stag, You were able to collect your reward amongst a list of a lot of questions. Leona hangs out with her dad for a while. She spends Friday nights reading back at the Feywild. Her me time.
Nice, they come to a balance.
Yeah.
And I believe that's about where we're going to wrap up for today.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Yay.
So everyone, at the end of this stream, our total is now $2,103 that we've raised so far for the kids and critical mission hospitals. Thank you so much, everyone. We'll go around, we'll do a quick wrap up. That's who you are, where we can find you, and then we'll go on to the next stream. So let's go the opposite way around and start with Erica, a Star Pixie.
Hi, I'm Erica. You can find me across all the social media at AStylePixie. You can also find me on the Girls Gets Glory, the broadcast. We have new episodes every Monday. And on Tuesdays, you can find me on Geek and Sundry at 4 o'clock for Knights of Everflame.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Next around, we have Madam Gandalf.
Oh, hi, I'm Madam Gandalf. You can find me everywhere as Madam Gandalf. You may have heard of such things as Madam Gandalf. And Scrat's also a thing that I do from time to time. We'll be making a comeback soon. And yeah, basically, just follow me on Twitter. You'll find wherever I'm going to be there. And we do things on Twitch all the time. And yeah. This is the most awkward outro I think I've ever done. I'm gonna pass it out.
Alex, wow, are you okay? We've broken you. Oh, also, I'm not sure you should go around saying like Scrat's a thing you've done. That just doesn't give any of the right connotations. Like, we'll move on quickly from your
I caught
shame.
the Scratticus.
I feel objectified. Let's go around next to Ashley.
Wow, what a outro to follow. I'm Ashley Warren. You can find me on Twitter at AshleyNHWarren. I'm currently running the RPG Writer Workshop. We're in our fall/winter 2019 session. Uncaged Anthology Volume 3 is out, so if you've been following the Uncaged Anthology project, our latest book was released last week. You can also find me on Tales from the Mist, which we just wrapped up our second season, but we'll be back for season 3 in early 2020, which will be a lot of fun. So you can follow us on Twitter at MissTalesDND. And everything else I do is on my website, ashleywarrenwrites.com.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Last but most certainly not least, our wonderful DM, Kelly.
Hi, I'm Kelly. You can follow me at AKellyLane on Twitter. I tweet about D&D and about my day job as an academic, so that's fun. There's a lot of angst involved with both. I write articles for Scrat's Patreon. I edit and write for DM's Guild sometimes. I edited for Uncaged. I've edited for several Uncaged spin-off projects that are super cool, including Friends, Foes, and Other Fine Folks, a title that I came up with and I'm very proud of. I will be around next season, starting in like a week and a couple days on Scratch Channel. On the announced Monday night season 2 of Tact and Diplomacy, a Shadows of Esteren game. Maybe other things. We'll find out next week. Maybe not. That's it. That's me.
Thank you very much. Well, everyone, we are going to go. I'm going to put another 20 minutes on the clock. We'll be back next with A Shadow Under Veilbrook, run by Little Cuppa Joe. I'm going to part with Nate's story, another one of the Extra Life stories. So get your tissues ready. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Keep on evoking emotions, everyone.
In sports, you always have the naysayers out there, or people that think that you can't win a race or you can't do something else. If you work hard and you're focused and you're disciplined and you have some ability and talent, you usually will be able to persevere and get to those goals and accomplish the things that you want to in sports.
I don't think anybody predicted, not even us being his parents, that he would have come this far in such a short amount of time. He's running at a national level in track and field. He's one of the best runners in the state. He's one of the top baseball players in the area, which that was one sport we didn't ever think he would play again. Sports was his dream, and we saw all of his dreams be taken away from him.
Well, the first thing I heard was that they were bringing a 10-year-old in who had been hit in the head with a golf ball.
I ran to the golf course and picked him up. As we started getting to the hospital, I sort of felt a little bit of panic. I got him out of the car, kind of rushed to the emergency room a little bit, and noticed that he was dragging his leg.
He was unable to move his right leg, right arm, and weakened the right side of his face. He also had a seizure, and I was amazed to see that there wasn't really any skull fracture at all, but an area about 1 inch to a half inch deep in the brain on the left side showed a small hemorrhage, maybe thumb-size hemorrhage.
It was just a horrible, helpless feeling because I couldn't do anything and I didn't know what was going on.
I was also very concerned that if you go in to remove a clot, you'll do more damage getting down to the clot.
And then I started to think, is my child gonna live? And when that started to set in, that was the scariest part.
In this case, it was better to let nature heal itself.
With the injuries that I saw initially, I would expect him to have significant motor handicaps and maybe some speech handicaps that preclude him from really playing any major sport activities.
Arden's a Canadian national champion in the pole vault. I played professional baseball. Arden's father played in the NHL. Her brother played on the Canadian national team for rugby.
He grew up seeing all of us compete and all of us accomplishing our goals and our dreams. And I don't think he knows a world of not accomplishing your goals. He transferred that into his therapy. So if he didn't do the exercise that he wanted to properly, then he'd come home and try it some more.
Throughout therapy, even when he got frustrated, he was just a really, really hard worker. He would do whatever we asked him to do, which is not always the case in pediatrics. It's frustrating, it's hard work, it hurts, and he really never said no, said I don't want to, this is too hard.
And then he'd go back and be so proud when he was able to sort of win, beat that exercise, and so then he could move on to the next one.
Miracles happen. His recovery is one of those miracles.
I love Phoenix Children's Hospital. I mean, that place was a godsend to us and our family. The staff there, the doctors, the nurses, everybody that took care of us there, they were all fantastic, and we can't thank them enough. He just recently qualified for the Junior Olympic Nationals. He ran 12 seconds better than his fastest time ever to make the finals, and I think he finished 10th overall in the nation, so we're very proud of him.
And literally 4 years ago, he couldn't smile, he couldn't move his right arm, he couldn't wiggle his right toe. Children's Miracle Network is so important for the hospitals. Everything that Children's Miracle Network has done has allowed them to help children like Nathan recover in their own environment.
I think hard work does bring good things. I mean, if you work hard and then if you get the thing that you really want, it's like more special because you know you earned it. No one gave it to you. It's all yours. You did it. There's no way no one will out-kick me in the last 400 meters. I just won't let it happen because I'll push myself till I drop.